Hey, how's it going, guys, and welcome to Wolf Nation. My name is Mo, and today we're gonna watch Death Note episode 18. So last time, guys, on Death Note. Yeah, so last episode we found out that Misa and Light, they were locked up for over a month. Even though there were still new killings of, recent criminals that were broadcast on the news. And we found out why. That's because Light instructed Rem to give Misa's death note to someone else and have that person, as a rule, have to kill any new criminals that are being broadcasted. But even with the killings, L, he wasn't buying it. He still believed that Light was connected somehow and that he was Kira. But, after, I wouldn't say pressure, but everyone's saying that something has to change. If there's still killings and you have him locked up like this, then maybe he's not Kira. So L, he had a discussion with Chief Yagami and they came up with this plan. So they pretty much drove Misa and Light, and the chief was like, they're gonna execute you, but I'm gonna execute you myself. And he was all serious, and both Misa and Light believed that he was about to kill them, but it was just a test. So L assumed that if Light or Misa's life was being threatened, then they would do something to stop Chief Yagami. So L was watching it all and nothing happened. So Chief Yagami, he was relieved, and as part of the agreement, Misa will be now under surveillance 24/7, but she'll be released. And Light, he's gonna be basically with L 24/7, handcuffed to him. And L, he still doesn't believe that Light is innocent. So we also learned that L, he built this new facility that they're gonna be at. I don't know how many floors, but it's huge, and there's helicopters and a whole bunch of shit. So let's dive into it and see what's going on. Here we go. Bam. Okay. Fingerprint, retina scan. L is not taking any chances.
Huh? What now?
Well, looks like this system's gonna take some getting used to.
Fine. How's this, huh? Good morning. Where are they?
Oh, they're on a date. Last we checked, all of them were up in Misa's room.
Oh. Should be interesting.
Surveillance cameras, huh?
And this has got to be the lamest date I've ever been on.
No, please, just pretend I'm not even here, okay? By the way, are you gonna eat that piece of cake? You're right. Actually, I'm depressed.
Depressed? What for?
Well, truthfully, all this time I thought that you were Kira, and my entire case hinged on that fact. I guess I just can't get past the fact that my deduction was wrong. Although having said that, I'm still suspicious of you.
Oh,
that's why we're wearing these. And we also know that Kira can control people's actions, which means it's highly likely that Kira was controlling your actions so that I would suspect you.
So his train of thought is changing, but he still feels like...
Then everything we've observed so far makes a lot more sense to me.
If that's what you think, Misa and I were both Kira during the time that we were being controlled, right?
Yes, I don't think I could have been wrong about that. The two of you are Kira. I can only conclude that Kira's power passes between people.
That's an interesting idea, but if it's true, it'll be nearly impossible for us to catch Kira.
Yes, that's why I'm overwhelmed.
So he's
Even if
starting
we
to
catch
believe that
someone
there's
under his
someone
control, they'll likely lose their powers and
controlling
any
you.
memory of their crimes. So in the end, pursuing them becomes futile.
But at this point, we have no way of knowing if that's the case. Cheer up, would you?
Cheer up? No, I'm sorry, I can't. It's probably better if I just stop trying so hard. By chasing Kira so desperately, we're just putting our lives at risk for nothing. Yes, it's just a waste of time.
Does he really believe that?
Ryuzaki.
Huh?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna slap him.
I know that really hurt.
That's enough. You don't feel like doing anything. Just because your genius deduction was wrong and I'm not, Kira?
Fine, perhaps I phrased that the wrong way. I meant it would be pointless for us to make a move, so we shouldn't even bother.
If we don't chase Kira, he'll never be caught. Is that what you want? If you were just gonna give up, then why did you involve all those innocent people? More importantly, what was the point of putting Misa and me behind bars?
An eye for an eye, my friend.
Yeah.
It's not my deduction that was wrong. The fact is, I can say that Light Yagami is Kira, and Misa Amane is the second Kira, but it won't be enough to solve the case, and that's why I'm a little depressed. Is that so unreasonable?
Yes. Yes, it is. Besides, you should hear yourself. It's as if you won't be satisfied unless I am Kira.
I won't be satisfied unless you're Kira. Well, there may be some truth to that. In fact, now that you mention it, you're right. I think I wanted you to be Kira. As I said before, an eye for an
Can
eye.
take a punch.
I'm a lot stronger than I look, you know.
Yes, you are.
We've got to call the room and stop them!
No, I'm enjoying this.
Huh? Yes?
Ryuzaki, I've got good news! Misa is #1 in 18 Magazine's reader popularity poll!
Oh, is that good news?
And get this, she's gonna get a lead role in Nishinaka's next movie!
What was that?
Matsuda's acting stupid again.
We're prominent Japanese businessmen, CEOs whose companies are leaders in their respective industries. In just over a month, they all died of heart attacks. As expected, there's been a general downturn in the market, with the exception of Yotsuba. In other words, their deaths have worked in Yotsuba's favor.
New person with
Looking back, there have been 13 similar deaths in the past 3 months. Your thoughts? Based on this, I can only conclude that Kira is supporting Yotsuba.
It could be. But if what you're saying is true, we can assume that punishing criminals is not this Kira's real intent.
Are you feeling a bit more motivated now?
Given Kira's history, the police are probably still focused on the dying criminals. Quite frankly, if someone was able to trace the deaths of these people back to us, then he'd have to be a god. Besides, we've taken precautions.
White as a god. Oh, so is that the guy?
We just spoke with the director, and it seems Kira has offered bribes to a number of politicians.
Kira made an offer. As long as the NBA agrees not to pursue him anymore, he won't lay a hand on any politicians.
Shit, did they accept it?
So that's that. The police caved in to him. Mogi and I have already made up our minds on this. Aizawa, Matsuda, if you wish to continue working this case, you'll have to hand in your letter of resignation to the MPA, just as Mogi and I are going to do. In a few hours, I'm no longer going to be your chief. However, we all have our own lives, so think it over carefully.
That's true, Chief. Especially if you've got a family to support.
If you want my opinion, you'd be better off as police officers. I was alone when I started this case, and although I'm grateful to all of you for staying with me as long as you have, I know that I can do this by myself. I'll be sure to visit you at the department and bring you Kira's head as a reward for all that you sacrificed.
Harsh.
Ryuzaki, as long as I'm alive, you won't be working alone. You have my word on that.
That's right.
Maybe he just wants to
working with me until I catch Kira, so I won't be
be
alone.
easier on them.
But as I said, I think the rest of you should remain as police officers.
If we're not police officers anymore, we won't be of much use to you. However, we're all personally involved in this. All of us have risked our lives to catch Kira. Doesn't that give us the right to decide whether we stay here or return to the police force?
Good point. Then by all means, please make your decision.
Hell.
But Chief, wait. If you quit your job with the police force, you'll be unemployed. Even if we do catch Kira, what are you gonna do after that?
Is it Elrich?
After that?
Maybe you can...
I hadn't really thought of it, but I suppose after we catch Kira, I'll have to dust off my resume.
Count me in! I'm gonna quit the police and chase Kira too, Chief! And I still have my job as Misa's manager. Besides, if I stayed on as a police officer, I'd feel like a total loser.
Think before you open your mouth, Matsuda.
It's tough on him. He has his family to worry about.
Is there any way I could still keep my job and help you in my spare time?
There isn't. If you remain a police officer, then please don't come back here.
But you know I won't leak any information.
I won't be sharing any of our information.
Damn it. Leave now after all we've been through. I said I was prepared to die if that's what it took to catch him, and I meant it. What kind of friend would I be to Ukita if I quit now? I became a detective so I could catch the bad guys, not run away!
Ryozaki, early on in the investigation, you specifically told me that if a task force member were to lose their job under any circumstances, I should make preparations to ensure that their family's financial future was secure. If you recall, a trust was set aside for that very purpose.
I was wondering.
I'm a little curious as to why you're withholding this information.
This is not the time or place, Watari.
I'm sorry.
No way! So all this time we had nothing to worry about? I can't believe you did that! There you go, Aizawa! Isn't that great news?
I guess he wanted them to make the choice by themselves, or...
Ryuzaki, I assume that was some kind of test to determine how committed I was to this task force.
It's not like that, Aizawa. Ryuzaki's just not the type to say things directly. You should know that by now.
Yeah, that's right.
Could be that, too. I was trying to give him the benefit.
I was testing you. I wanted to see which one you would choose.
Ryuzaki.
If I wasn't sure before, I am now. But Aizawa... Let's face it, I wasn't able to decide right away like you guys. I was leaning towards going back to the police. Come on, Aizawa. Don't be so stubborn. No, I quit. Now I know this for sure. I've always hated Ryuzaki. I hate him and his way of doing things!
That's too bad, because I like you, Aizawa.
I also hate the way you've always gotta have the last word! You insult me, now you say something like that? That's it, I'm out of here!
Thank you for everything.
He does have to have the last word.
Is Kira someone from Yotsuba? Or is Kira simply using Yotsuba? I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll proceed under the assumption that this is Kira's doing. We will focus on Yotsuba.
This is all of the Yotsuba group's employees. Here.
Thank you very much.
So when exactly did he join the inner
people.
circle?
How did he put this together so quickly? That's amazing, Mogi.
He's been incredibly efficient from the start.
Ryuzaki, please tell me, is there anything I can do to help with the investigation, besides the manager thing?
So you really want to be useful?
Yes!
Then could you get me another cup of coffee? And for our guests over there as well.
Guests?
Who are they?
Hold on a sec, who let them in?
Those two are the newest members of the task force.
Okay.
My name's Iber. I'm a con man. How's it going?
I'm Weddy, and I'm a thief by trade.
A con man and a thief.
That's right. Iber is a lifelong con man. His unparalleled social skills allow him to befriend and gain the trust of any target. We'll use him for infiltration. As for Weddy, she's a thief who specializes in cracking high-end security systems. As proof of that, she was able to enter the building without setting off a single alarm.
Impressive.
You expect us to work with criminals?
Yes, that is correct. However, these two have never once been caught, so it's unlikely they'll be killed by Kira. Think of them as professionals of the underworld.
I understand. To investigate Yotsuba, we're gonna need the help of people like this.
Huh?
Daddy! Yumi. Eriko.
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at work right now? You need to tell me if you're planning to be home for dinner. I just went shopping and I only bought for me and Yumi.
You can eat my dinner and I'll have dessert instead.
Sorry. It was sort of a last-minute decision, but they just gave me some time off.
Huh? Is a time off a vacation, Daddy?
Yeah, that's right.
Yippee!
From now on, I can have a break every single week. Now I can go with you to the park. Maybe we can go to the zoo together. Or the amusement park.
What's wrong, Dad?
So guys, that was Death Note episode 18. So L, he was getting a little depressed in the beginning because it felt like, you know, all of his conclusions, all of his theories weren't adding up. But I did like that little fight that we had between L and Light, for once using their fists instead of their brains against each other. But in this case, Light was mostly trying to snap him out of it, and then he was upset with the fact that L really wants him to be Kira. Like, L wouldn't be satisfied unless it turns out that Light is Kira. And that is the case, but he is willing to, well, at least it appears that he's willing to change the train of thoughts that he had regarding the case. So he's willing to think that there might be actually a Kira that's able to control other people and was controlling both Light and Misa. And how Light got the new information regarding the Yatsuba company, and how certain members of, you know, opposing companies are, you know, dying. So now they have that lead and they're gonna look into it. I wonder if they'll eventually find out or find rather the person that has the Death Note, because we know he is part of the Yatsuba company, but we're not sure who exactly it is. I don't know, for Light's sake, would it be beneficial for him to actually catch the new Kira? Because, well, it depends on how much the new Kira knows. But I don't really think he knows anything about Light or anything like that. He probably just knows that he got this Death Note and has certain rules, and as, you know, as one of the rules, he has to kill criminals. Seeing Light and L work together, actually together, you know, the same objective, kind of makes me wish they were both on the same page and they were both, you know, good, going, or rather Light was good and they were going after, you know, criminals together, because it's a pretty interesting dynamic that they have. So the new Kira basically bribed politicians and even the police, telling them that, you know, we won't kill any politicians if you know, stop pursuing Kira. So they accepted the deal, and the chief and Aizawa and Matsuba, they pretty much have to either stop pursuing Kira and get off the case or lose their jobs. So the chief, he's quitting or resigning. So is Matsuba. But Aizawa, he has his family to worry about, so I definitely felt sorry for him. Especially knowing that, you know, his friend died in the hands of Kira, or in the hands of Misa. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that he cares about them. That's why he had the trust fund on the side, but he likes to do things his own way, and he's a little awkward, and he's testing them all the time. But yeah, it was sad seeing him, you know, crying in front of his daughter, because, you know, he really wants to be on the case. So we have two new members on the task force. Ibar, he's a con man, and we have Weddy, I think that's her name. She's a thief, yeah. con man and a thief. So yeah, they probably will be useful, especially if they're trying to catch the new Kira, because it's someone within, you know, this big corporation or company, and they'll probably have to, you know, infiltrate it, and having a con man and a thief, you know, that's definitely good. So yeah, it'll be interesting learning more about them and seeing what they actually bring to the table and how it's gonna work. So yeah, this is the first episode without any Shinigami, without Ryuk. Hoping we get Ryuk back, who's one of my favorite characters. So yeah guys, as always, hit me in the comments, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Till next time guys,